Hello and welcome to another episode of Robo Talk with XLR8. I'm your host Andrew. I'm here today with Coach Zach and Jacob. We're going to cover many different stories about tech news today, and towards the end, we are going to be talking about First Tech Challenge. Kicking it off today, Jacob's going to start us off with a little bit of tech news from Las Vegas.
So we got a real cool piece of tech news, really engineering news here. But so Madison Square Garden is going to construct a big old sphere on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's going to be a big performance center, and it's going to be a big sphere, and it's going to have screens on both sides of it, so the outside will be able to be changed how it looks, and the inside is going to be able to house over 17,000 people with a screen that's 19,000 pixels by 13,000 pixels, and that's bigger than 3 football fields. To construct it, they needed one of the world's largest cranes, and it's about 360 feet tall, and it took 18 days to build on the site. What they're mainly going to be doing there is hosting like sports events, like the original Madison Square Garden, and I don't know if original is the right word since they're a company, but the one in New York, they're going to be hosting sports events, possibly plays, maybe movie premieres. It's a big it's a big event center.
It'd be fun to do robotics events there.
Yeah, but man, it's a really big like stadium for like not much.
Definitely.
Seems on par for
Worlds question mark.
Las Vegas.
Worlds in a dungeon. On the topic of robotics, there is a robot out mimicking a mantis shrimp's strike. Robotics researchers are designing a robot that mimics a mantis shrimp's strike. There's a little bit more testing that needs to be done because that strike is so quick. It's almost, I think, less than a blink of an eye.
It's quick enough that it creates a shockwave in the water.
It boils the water.
Yeah.
It's also a very impressive way to show biomimicry. For those of you who don't know what biomimicry is, a kind of example of it is solar panels. It is taking what other plants and animals do in nature and replicating it as a machine use. All these models that we keep making just better enhance our world as well as everybody else's.
I think one of the problems that they're having with the whole mimicry mantis shrimp robot is I don't think they can get parts that can go quite fast enough that'll survive this strike. So they can't quite get the speed, but they've gotten the mechanics of it down, and it just shows how mimicking these animals can really help us design our robots, because you don't gotta reinvent the wheel.
Another topic that we're going to lead into is Best Buy is now starting to restock their 30 series graphics cards.
Boop, boop.
At the time of recording, which is September 30th, they are supposed to release on Friday morning.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, which is tomorrow. You better get there early. I had a friend who got there at a decent amount of time, and there was still a ton of people there.
People are going to be camping out there.
Oh, they definitely will be camping out.
Oh, yeah. But how many can afford it?
Well, that's the interesting thing, because from what the internet's been saying, the people camping out, they're going to get a little ticket from the employees in the morning, and that ticket will guarantee them the opportunity to buy a graphics card for sticker price.
But they don't get to choose.
Which one?
Yeah, they don't. I had...
The 30 series is the 30 series. They're all
Oh,
in
yeah.
stock.
Well, like, I knew someone who got one, and he was the last person to get one at that Best Buy. The only option he got was a 3080 Ti.
Oh, wow.
That's what I got. And they're only doing it in select stores, which is... You might have to go out a few miles if you want to get one.
On the subject of business, Intuit is going to buy MailChimp for $12 billion. Intuit, maker of TurboTax and QuickBooks, last Monday said they agreed with MailChimp to buy them out for $12 billion with cash and stock. Why does this matter to everybody else. It will be the largest ever acquisition of a privately held bootstrap company. MailChimp didn't take any funding since 2001, and MailChimp has opted for profit sharing instead of stock-based compensation for their employees.
What exactly is MailChimp? Like, I thought it died out long ago.
I mean, I think it's like you can use their service to make a newsletter. Like someone will sign up and then you send it out through MailChimp so that you don't have just a big email thread of everyone replying. It's just right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've worked with MailChimp in just recently with one of my family friends' website. It's essentially a way to organize everything together and kind of blend it all into one email, like Jacob said.
I feel like it's probably one of those companies where you don't see the name at the bottom. It's just kind of everywhere still.
On the topic of technology, there is a new Sonos Ikea lamp speaker that is shaping the internet and showing the internet the new future of home audio. The new Sonos Ikea lamp speaker got leaked online about a week ago after they found the lampshade at their Ikea store. They discovered that the second gen speaker that is coming out, you'll have a choice of fabric or glass lampshades. You can change the look of it. You'll have to pay extra for these shades, unfortunately. The fabric will cost about $35.
Yeah, picture that. Sounds pretty cool.
I do have a picture of that.
Ooh, that does look pretty cool. For those who are not pulling up the Sonos lampshade from Ikea at the moment at home, it's kind of looks like a Google Home with a lamp on it. Looks pretty nice. I was kind of expecting it to look like that the smart light with the speaker inside of it.
Oh yeah.
But no, this is part of the lamp base is what it is, and the light is. You could probably also have a normal light bulb and connect it to smart home devices, which is very cool. I feel like integration of different systems in your house are going to become more and more prevalent as we progress. Like, oh, my light bulb is an internet extender.
Going along with that topic of technology news and speakers, we're going to kind of switch over to a story more about gaming. Steam has finally implemented a PS-like storage manager. Steam, most popular PC platform for a while now. Very slow at rolling out updates. Very, very, very slow at that. But they just released a huge update for downloads and storage and management pages. The other things, they've kind of fixed the hard drive download, the slow internet download, the SSD. It's just supposed to streamline everything out. So you don't even have to worry about storage anymore, and just kind of everything's getting streamlined.
Seems good. I'm not too familiar with Steam's update model, but I don't know if they really update the backend stuff that often. So it's nice to see them refreshing some software in there in Steam, because I use Steam.
As do I. I don't play a lot of games on Steam. I usually use Epic Game Launcher. That's just where I have my biggest library. But Steam has gone a long way from what it has once become.
In a good way.
Yes, in a very good way. On the topic of phones, Huawei hopes to launch their 6G product line by 2030. First 6G compatible. They want to launch it by 2030, as I said. They're very confident that they can get 6G. They're going to have a few breakthrough technologies, and everybody else has to catch up, because as of right now, cell towers do not support 6G. They have commercialized 5G by a crap ton around the world, and they are the key role in developing 5G. So for them to say, okay, we are done with 5G now we're going to move to 6G, in my opinion, That's kind of crazy that they're already jumping the gun that quick.
I don't even know if it's jumping the gun. Like 10 years to develop a whole new G. I don't even know how long it takes to produce a 1G. But it's cool to see how fast like the linear or the exponential growth of technology. Like I feel like 4G to 5G is 5 years, and then 5G to 6G, I guess they're starting to produce it, so that's like shorter of a time.
It's even faster. Like that we're getting up to the point where it's like so fast that you wouldn't even need like Wi-Fi anymore.
That's kind of the hope.
Essentially, you would just have cell for everything.
Yeah, isn't a G? Don't the G's go up? Not exponentially, magnitude. I thought that's how it worked. So to go from 5G to 6G is a huge expanse in bandwidth.
As they claim, 6G is about 95 gigabits a second.
And this says 5G is 20, so that's a big ol' increase for a network.
So from 20 to 95.
That's pretty quick.
That is really quick. That is a whole game of GTA 5 in 2 seconds.
Might be 8 seconds. Or wait, no, 18. I think because most games are in gigabytes. This is in gigabits. I think one is 1/8 of the other. Because who decides technology?
No one decides how gigabytes and gigabits combine with each other. It's ludicrous.
Either way, ludicrous speeds going on there.
On the other subject of phones, Apple just released about a few weeks ago iOS 14.8 and macOS 11.6 to address some of the spyware hacks. Big takeaway from this before we get too far into the story. If you have an Apple device, please update to 14.8. If your phone is capable, you do not want to get your information stolen from you. Nobody wants that, and it's just going to make your phone a whole lot safer.
I mean, maybe not yet. Maybe hold back on 15 for another week or two just to make sure there aren't any other spyware incidents, but iOS 15 is out.
It is.
It is, sure.
At the time of this recording, iOS 15 is out on iOS devices. If you want to upgrade even further, you can. Like Jacob said, probably should wait a week just to see how everything blows over. But at least make sure you are updated to one of the newest operating systems just to make sure you are safe. On the topic of Apple, as we said, you should upgrade to the newest operating system. The iPhone 13 got announced at their Apple event. They're going to make the Mini, the Normal, the Pro, the Pro Max. The Pro and Pro Max have 3 cameras on the back, not the front. It's got 5G capability, longer battery, and faster processes. Just like the last generation, it's just getting better and better. The price is around $800 to $1,600. Size, they are now starting to put only 128 gigabytes in their phones. They used to only have 64.
It's gone up a lot in at least the past 10 years because I think I've had an iPod with 16 gigabytes.
Yeah, so definitely as of right now they're mainstreaming 128 to 512 gigabytes of storage, and on the Pro and Pro Maxes you can get 1 terabyte of storage.
That's a lot. That is almost an outrageous amount of space. I don't even use a terabyte on my computer.
Yeah, I filled mine up a little bit. I think I need to sort some things out. Kind of some of the other things. One of the main things was iPhone 13. The other things were the Apple Watch Series 7, 20% more screen, recycled aluminum. That starts at $400. And there is an iPad and iPad mini that they're releasing with a new Bionic chip, 5G capability, and a larger display.
All these people talk about, like, when the Apple event happened, there's this one kid who follows Apple and stuff very closely. He's like, about to watch his Apple event in class, and he's like, I can't wait for my phone to slow down. But I don't notice that. I don't know if anyone else, but I don't notice, like, people always say Apple slows down all their phones when the new phone comes out, but I mean, I don't notice it. Maybe I don't use my phone intensively enough to notice it, but
Yeah, what they said is they're kind of, I was reading about it, kind of like their thought process behind it was they don't want to damage the phone, so it's either they slow down the core speeds or they throttle the battery. And their decision was to throttle the battery, so there's less voltage, and you don't really have a choice. That's just kind of how it works. They want you to upgrade to the next phone, which eventually, if you were thinking logistically, you will have to upgrade to a phone in the near future. What they are doing is force progressing kind of you to get a new phone.
yeah, I'm just saying the effects of it are at least a little bit exaggerated from people.
Oh yeah. It depends on what you're doing with it.
Yeah,
All in all.
definitely.
Now we're going to move on to the titans of the world, and we are talking now. First, we are going to talk about Elon Musk and his SpaceX company. SpaceX just sent their first crew of private citizens to space. 4 private citizens were launched a few weeks ago aboard the SpaceX capsule. None of them are professional astronauts. One is a entrepreneur and a philanthropist. So
The shuttle.
yeah.
The shuttle's title. Inspiration 4 launched on Wednesday, the 15th of September, and the whole mission is a fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which I was not expecting, which is also very cool. I think it's cool to see, like, we've seen Blue Horizon and SpaceX, and I think there's another one. They've started doing...
Oh, that Virgin Airlines?
Yeah, they've started doing more commercial space flights, and I've seen a lot of things with how space flight can be used for more efficient travel and shipping. So it's nice to see progressions in that. No more clogged shipping canals. Now we have clogged spaceway.
Yes, that is, with some fear, is the next battle, is for space. I don't know what anybody's going to do in space. There's a whole lot of nothing out there, but...
There's also a whole lot of money. Astrominers going to be the first trillionaires. Unless Jeff Bezos can do that.
On the topic of Jeff Bezos and his company Amazon, the Amazon Kindle, they're getting major updates for a revamped reading experience. For you Kindle e-readers out there, a major update is coming your way. You can adjust the screen's brightness, which I don't know why you couldn't in the first place, but now you can. You can toggle airplane mode and Bluetooth. Again, don't know why you couldn't do that before, but now you will be able to. And go to all settings in the new swipe down menu. Again, no idea. You can also switch between your home, library, and current book. The second update that is coming will bring a new library experience to you e-readers. New filters and sort menus in the library, new collections, and an interactive scroll bar.
Very cool. It seems like Amazon is kind of falling behind. It seems like their Kindle, the e-reader now, is trying to be marketed for more similarly to an iPad, or at least the UI experience. Just to have a familiarity with the product would be good for business and selling things. Because as close to as good as Amazon is financially, their UIs don't exactly have a reputation of being the greatest. Where Apple, they know what they're doing with that, and so it seems like they're trying to get closer to the iPad.
Now to wrap us up, we are going to be talking about the first tech challenge section of today's podcast. The season started about a few weeks ago, and everyone's hard at work, so we just wanted to give you all kind of a little bit of an overview of what kind of the game is kind of about, kind of the name, the main goals of the game. We're not going to go too in deep on this section of the podcast. This year, it is called Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies. Essentially, what you have to do is create a robot that fits in an 18 by 18 cube that can traverse through barriers, and there's a time limit, as always, as every other season. But the main thing is there's only 3 different types of what they call cargo. There is spheres, which they consider cargo, cubes, which they consider boxes, and there's ducks, which are essentially little tiny rubber duckies. Those are the 3 type of scoring elements. The main obstacle this year are barriers. These barriers are going to throw a lot of people off, hopefully changing the game for a lot of veteran teams and bringing fresh ideas to all teams.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting challenge compared to other seasons, because it's almost forcing you to have to go over those barriers. Like, granted, you can make a robot that's like small enough to go in between the space between the barrier and the wall, but if you get stuck there, or if you have a teammate stuck there, then you're kind of stuck. So it's going to be interesting to see what all different types of robots we'll see this year. I'm excited.
I think that is something that's going to catch a lot of teams off guard this year, is that in previous seasons, with a barrier type structure like this, where they have something blocking off the scoring components from the rest of the field, in past years you've always been able to reach over and just take them. But this year you have to go over the barrier, and I feel like we didn't notice that for a while. And then we noticed it, and we had to change a handful of our designs.
Yes, like Jacob said, in Game Manual 2, be careful. Little hint for you all. If you go to the definitions of warehouse operation in Game Manual Part 2, it states that you have to be fully in to collect the piece, and you have to be fully out to score. Kind of a little tip for you all today. That is something that we found out that we would like to share to you all, because that is very, very important, and we don't want anyone to make that mistake and get penalized for it.
Yeah, it's like they'll show up to a competition with goals of Rover Ruckus, so just going out, staying outside, reach in, grabbing, and scoring. No, they managed to prevent people from doing that, so we gotta go inside to get those elements.
And that is all the time we have today. Thank you, Coach Zach, for stopping by. Thank you, Jacob, for stopping by. Kind of a little sneak peek as we go on into the future. We are going to create a episode that goes in depth about the game and some of the scoring elements and some of the point systems that we have available. I would like to thank you all for stopping by. My name is Andrew. Thank you for tuning in to Robo Talk with XLR8. Signing off for now.